Good morning and happy Thanksgiving and welcome to this special edition of Fighting Patriot Football via YouTube on JohnCurtisPatriots.com alongside my great friend and partner Danny Wimprine. I'm Kevin Fayard and of course Robbie is going to be producing this morning's practice and devotional. It's Thanksgiving morning. It's semifinals of the Division One Louisiana State High School football playoffs. The John Curtis Christian Patriots will host the Evangel Eagles tomorrow at Joe Uni Stadium, 7 o'clock. But more importantly, it's Thanksgiving practice. The boys are outside right now doing their last-minute walkthroughs. There's a lot of alums outside, but afterwards, it's really why we're here. It's for a devotional, and it's been a Patriot tradition since 1975. We're going to talk a few minutes about that tradition, how it got started. We're going to talk about some interesting fun facts, the Patriots in the semifinals, and also the Patriots versus Evangel series. It's been a great one that started in 1999. This will be the 11th meeting between the two. And while we're here and while we're thankful for being here and in football and just what's important. And Danny, happy Thanksgiving to you, buddy. Great to be playing football on Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And thankful that we're here doing this again.
No doubt about it, buddy. It's always great to be around friends and family around Thanksgiving time, and of course, think about the things that are important to us and be able to get back here for practice, and that's a big thing. If the Patriots lose and they're not here, we have no Thanksgiving practice. So each and every year where we're going deep into the playoffs, this is something that you and I and a lot of other alums always think about coming back to be able to have this tradition. I think as you get older and as things, pass you by, or as you really start to reminisce on certain things, they get a little bit more important to you each and every year. And, it's been a tradition for you and I and a lot of other people that have gone on and played here and maybe even some guys that aren't living here anymore to be able to come back here on Thanksgiving morning and have this practice, see some of their old buddies, and, of course, enjoy the devotional from Coach JT. So great opportunity again this morning for us to be here. And like I said, if the Patriots weren't playing well, we wouldn't be here. So congratulations to them again. Of course, tomorrow night's going to be a big night. But, let's talk about today.
It's Thanksgiving. So how did it all start? 1975, which was the first year that the Patriots won the state championship. Of course, the playoff brackets were a lot different then than they are now. You and I had the same format those guys did, but I believe they started the season a little bit later. So I don't know if it was the quarters. It was the quarterfinals when you and I played.
Right. Anyways,
the first time that the Patriots had advanced that far, and they had to walk through practice. And the first time we ever had a Thanksgiving practice, and it was at the practice. The guys were in the locker room. Coach had gone over last-minute instructions, what to do. Don't eat too much turkey. Don't eat too much dressing. Put it in a bowl. We'll probably hear that this afternoon. And they didn't know what to do. And they was kind of sat there, and it was like, well, hey, can we talk about, what we're thankful for? And they just kind of went around the room and said what they wanted to do, what they were thankful for. And I guess Coach, had a Bible handy, read a couple passages, and just kind of sat there and talked about it, what was important. And every year from 75 through 92, up until 92, because in 1992 the Patriots lost in the regional round, which was round 2, in double overtime at Opelousas. That was my junior year in college. I'd already gone through my 4 years. My freshman was in 85 through 88. And when I got to college, I kept coming back because the guys from 75 kept coming back, so I saw that and it got bigger and bigger. And I woke up that morning on the 92, and for 7 straight years, I'd go on to Thanksgiving practice, and we didn't have a Thanksgiving practice. And I felt lost.
Mm-hmm.
But did you know, from 1993 to now, this is the 26th consecutive Thanksgiving practice that we've had. So a lot of teams, can't say that. Since 1975, when it started, to now, 1992 is the only year we have not had a Thanksgiving practice, which is pretty amazing.
Well, and I think, like I mentioned before, when you're a grammar school kid or a high school kid, you don't really know what this is all about yet. And I didn't either when I was playing. But as you get older and as you start to understand about the fellowship after and, of course, about Coach JT's devotional and talking about the things that are very important to you, it gets more important to us. So, you're right. None of those kids would know that statistic on in the 90s. But it's a great opportunity for us to get together again, and just be together as a family. Everybody always talks about family. Curtis Nation, and this is like a second family to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So, it's a great opportunity for us to get together and have a good time and kind of just start the morning off right.
Yep. Before we get into, our pregame, we're going to pretty much do our pregame tomorrow night, today for you. So since it started in '75, some of the alums that I've seen, Coach Manny Michelle was a freshman on that '75 team. Tommy Archer, Glenn Tapman, David Gilmore. I'm trying to think, was any other guys that outside that we saw? So right now, there's just 4 guys from the '75 team. And here we are in 2018. They're still coming back.
Right.
And other guys. So when I had my first one in '85, a good handful of the guys from '75 showed up. And that's what I saw. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then more and more years, so I started coming in and it kind of got built up. And what's exciting, you just mentioned, we like it, the older guys, so we've been doing it for years.
Right.
Some of the Patriots that graduated, that were seniors last year, they couldn't, I got caught when they couldn't, they were excited to come this morning because it's now their first time as an alum to come, because now we'll have an opportunity to stand up, say their name and what year they graduated. And we've had close to 50, 60 alums through the years come by. So
no doubt about it. And everybody always gets a chuckle when Coach Leon says his year. The kids
68,
and the kids really like that.
Yeah.
But I can still remember when I was in high school and we were in the library upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was still small enough to where everybody or whoever wanted to could stand up and say what they're thankful for.
That's right.
These days, we're really packing the house. I mean, the gym, this whole side is going to be full, no doubt about it. And there's probably going to be people standing up. But, that's the way it is. Hopefully this tradition continues to grow. I know as my boys grow up and I can wake them up, that they're going to be here too, because it's going to become important to them also, and even my daughter, and hopefully I get my wife up and get her over here. But that's it's a tradition, and like I said, this is like a second family to a lot of people. So in order to start our day off right, it really wouldn't be the same thing on Thanksgiving morning without this.
Right. Well, there's a reason why we have Thanksgiving practice. We're still in the playoffs and we're playing the semifinals. 4 or 5 years ago, the LSSA made a decision. Public school's going to go one way, private school's going to go the other way. So we're now in the Division I, which is the 5A private school playoff. The Patriots defeated Jesuit last week, and we're going to play the Evangel Eagles, who defeated Byrd last week. So they advance to play in this round with us. The opposite side of the bracket is Rummel and Catholic. The winner of both games is going to meet Saturday, December 8th, 12 noon in the state championship game. And I would love for the Patriots and the Catholic Bears to be a part of that. Now, here's a little history. I don't know if you know about this or not. The Patriots are now in their 40th semifinal round since 1975. 40. 36-3. The 3 losses came to Kinder in 1978, Rummel, which we called that game in 1950. So 2015, we went around in 1915. And Evangel the next year, 2016, which is the last time we played Evangel at Zephyr Stadium. If you remember, we were really good. We were undefeated that year. And they came in at Zephyr Stadium, and they thumped us 27-7. They got some guys that were freshmen and sophomores on that team. They're going to be a really, really solid ball club and a very formidable foe tomorrow night.
Well, let's be honest. Last time we played them, like you said, in 16, they just basically physically beat us. And that's really the first time in forever or ever that I just saw a Patriots team show up and just get beat.
Yeah.
And that's really what happened. We showed up, and they were more physical than us. They were faster than us. They just played better than us. And it was the first time in ever that I've ever seen that happen.
That's true.
And, they were a very, very good football team. But, the great thing about Evangel and the great thing about the Patriots is we've been here before. They do this every year. If you're Evangel or if you're John Curtis, you're not playing in the state championship, it's really a disappointing season.
That's right.
If you're not winning a state championship, it's a disappointing season. So there's a lot of tradition, a lot of legacy at both schools. We first started off in '99, like you mentioned. We lost to Evangel 28-20 in the opening game of the season in the Superdome, and they went on to be national champions that year. And then since then, it's really become a really great rivalry for the Patriots and the Eagles. But I think you mentioned it's going to be our 12th time?
It's 11th.
11th time playing them, and we have never traveled to play them in Shreveport.
No.
They've always come down here. But the great thing about that is it should be business as usual for them.
Yes.
Nothing different. They always travel here to play the Patriots. They thumped us a couple years ago, and
it's payback.
And we have to do what we have to do because these kids have not experienced a state championship victory.
No.
None of them, not anybody who was in 8th grade, they have not experienced a state championship victory. So, of course, going all the way last year, losing to Catholic, hopefully they have that bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
It gives them a little bit more fuel to the fire to be able to show up and do what they have to do tomorrow. But let's be honest, Evangel's very, very good. We'll talk about them a little bit.
Yeah.
Running back is very, very solid. When we played, they were 90% passing team. They threw the ball all the time. They sat back there in 12 yards in the shotgun. Mark Berlin got the ball. He got rid of it quick. They spread you out like crazy. It was kind of a new form of offense. It was that design of offense was crazy. They threw for over 5,000 yards a season. It was very, very fun to watch. Really wasn't fun to play against.
Right.
But our defense still did a great job against it. Now they are much more balanced.
Yes.
They're probably going to throw the ball maybe 50 to 60% of the time, but their running back, as far as what I'm hearing this week and throughout the season, might be one of the best running backs in the state or in the country.
Yeah.
He is very, very good, and they're very capable. Not only that, offensively, defensively, like I said before, 2 years ago we showed up, they basically took the whipping stick out and just whipped us.
Yep.
We couldn't get the job done offensively. We have to do what we have to do tomorrow. Take care of the football. You and I always talk about it in big games.
Yep.
First of all, you cannot turn the ball over. Second thing is, in big games, you cannot have silly penalties like we've had sometimes.
Yep.
You cannot have the silly penalties and put these coaches and this offense in a tough situation where you're 2nd and 15 or you're 1st and 15, 1st and 20, whatever else like that. You can't put yourself in negative situations. And then third thing is control the football. Control the football, have methodical drives, march the ball down the field, keep it away from their offense. Let our defense get to the sidelines, talk it over, because like I said, we're still going to see some of those crazy sets probably.
Sure.
So these guys are going to be able to they're going to have to talk it out, but we want to give them a nice breather on the sidelines, allow them to come back in, play really hard on defense, but our offense needs to show up, have those long sustained drives, and get points on the board. Don't turn the ball over. Do what we have to do. And like we always say, just do what your coach should do.
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee you that these coaches have been watching film. They've been working hard on all of these different styles of offense, the sets, the motions, anything that you can line up to. Our kids know what to do. Now it's up to them to be able to transfer that onto the field tomorrow and do what their coach should do.
Weather might be an issue. This talk, it could be severe rain throughout the day. Coach feels it's possibly the rain could be out by kickoff, but that could benefit us, assuming we hold on to the football. We run the ball, they throw the ball, so ball control could be easier for us. However, you did mention they are more balanced than they have been in years past, so who knows? The field conditions should be pretty good because East Jefferson has that field turf, so it should drain well. It might be damp, it may be cold and misty, and kind of like that nasty cold weather. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to really affect us, but we'll find out. But you know what? That's what makes football great.
Exactly.
You got to deal with the weather.
You know, and everybody kind of, whenever you talk about weather, everybody always looks at themselves. But look at the other team as well. Like you said, they have to play in it too. They probably throw the ball a good bit more than us, so it may affect them, it may not. But, you know, as a coaching staff, you go in and prepare just like you do on a regular day. Like you said, it's field turf, so, you know, might not affect it. I'm sure EJ has a pretty good crown on the field where it's going to drain well. Another thing is sometimes, you know, you have those little pearls that you break out for game time.
Oh, yeah.
Keep those things in the bucket, you know. Warm up. Maybe you get some rain during warm-ups and things like that, and then keep the ball dry. And then when you get back into the game time, and hopefully, like JT said, it's no rain, we're able to go in there and play with the dry ball and be able to do what we have to do. And sometimes as a quarterback, you kind of like when the ball gets a little wet, just a little tacky. But when it's really severe rain or it's continually drizzling, the ball gets a lot more slick. So we'll see what the conditions are tomorrow. You never know. Good thing is both teams have to play in it. But, you know, adverse conditions. You know, we used to say when it's a little bit uncomfortable for them, it's perfect for us.
Exactly. In a way, though I didn't like getting drummed by 20 points like what happened 2 years ago, I kind of like it because that's the last time we played them. Colin and all of our juniors and seniors were young guys, freshmen and sophomores back then. They got that taste in their mouth. They remember what it was like to get thumped that bad. So it kind of gives us an edge, like, you know what, we need to atone for that particular that beating we took.
Yeah.
What makes it dangerous is these guys. We called quite a few games with them now since the 2011 semifinals, the 2012 state championship. 13 we played them in the semis. 14 we played them in the quarters, and 15 we played them in the 16 we played them in the semis again. 3rd and 35 for them is nothing. They've been quite a few times, and just about every one of those games I mentioned, we've gotten a big sack or a tackle for loss, and they've had a penalty. They've had 2nd and 28, 3rd and 35. Folks, that's like 3rd and 3 for us. They somehow find a way. They wing the ball down the field, and if you don't stay in coverage, next thing you know, it's 1st down. And you and I looked at each other like, how did they get that? 3rd and 35, now it's 1st down.
I would equate them to a team like the Walker Landrys or the Warren Eastons, to where at any time in the game they can make a play throwing the ball or with their feet. But they're going to be a heck of a lot more disciplined than a team like that. but they have playmakers that can make a play, like you said, at any time in the ball game. This running back is explosive.
Yeah.
Got a lot of explosive plays throughout the year, and a lot of times you'll see it. You think you have him corralled, you think you have him tackled, and you're not going to get him down. An arm tackle is not going to get him. So he's going to squirt out and make a 60 or 80-yard touchdown run, and that's the way that they play. And, of course, like you mentioned, they spread it around. They do what they have to do, but they have explosive players all over the field, and that's what makes them scary. Go back to 2 years ago, like you said, I am also glad that we got thumped. Because sometimes, you need a little bit of humbling. I think, you eat a little humble pie every now and then, and people around the city, these kids, they start to understand this can happen to us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have let it happen to us.
No.
Hopefully, we didn't. But it can happen to you. You have to go in and you have to be prepared. No matter who you're playing, you have to be prepared. You have to be well-conditioned. You have to play mentally and physically tough. You have to do all the things that you have to do to be successful. Obviously, we didn't, and they were a heck of a football team. So what are we going to do different 2 years down the road coming up tomorrow night?
They were extremely physical in defense, probably one of the fastest physical defenses I've seen in a long time. We had some fast cats at running back. They try to run the corner, and they would be full guys waiting for them. So, who knows? That was then. This is now.
Right.
Totally different, but it's still in the back of your mindset. How prepared. We played them so many times. Again, this is our 11th time since 1999. Danny was actually part of that very first one, the season opener in 99. So here's some fun facts between the Patriots and Evangel, the 11th time, okay? We've only played them once in the regular season. That's when you played them in 99. Evangel won that one. We played one time in the quarterfinals. That was in 2014. We won that one. This will be the 5th time we played them in the semifinals. We won in 11, 13, 14 was the quarters. So coming to semis, we beat them and we lose to them in 16, and then hopefully that's 4 times. Actually, this is a state championship team. Of all the 36 appearances that we were 26-10 in state championship games, we played Evangel 4 times.
Right.
That is the most common opponent the Patriots have played in a state championship. We played them in 08, we won. 09 they won, 10 they won, and we got them in 12, which ended up being a national championship. So we're 2-2 in the state championship. All right, let me go back to semifinals. Oh, I forgot. 07 is when we beat them the first time we played them after you played. So in 07 we won, 11 we won, 13 we won in the semis. That's 3 there. They got us in 16 in the semis, and then who knows in 18. So right now the 4 times we're 3-1 in the semis against them. We lead the overall series 6-4. What does that have to do with tomorrow night's game? Absolutely nothing, but it's good fun facts for us in the stadium, the fans. Now, here's something interesting. You mentioned it as well. Of all 11 games we played them, they've always been in the New Orleans area. Mm-hmm. We've never gone to Shreveport to play them. They're dropping down to 4A next year, which is kind of sad, because I kind of enjoyed them being a playoff rival, if you will. So since they're moving, we got to win, because I don't know when we're going to play them next.
Right.
It won't be in the playoffs. The Patriots have been going to Shreveport for the last 5 years for the Battle of the Border. Now, traditionally, we've been playing teams around the state. However, we did play West Monroe in the Battle of the Border. I wouldn't be surprised. I would really welcome, why don't we just play Evangel in Shreveport, just to keep the rivalry alive, because they are a good football team, and it could really benefit us down the road.
Kevin, you can't talk about Louisiana high school football without mentioning first John Curtis, and then probably second Evangel. And, they've been, in the past, probably 20 years, the 2 most dominant teams in the state. So, to be able to have the opportunity to play each other every year, every other year, every third year is awesome. I'd like to say that we've created a little bit of a rivalry here.
Sure.
Deep into the playoffs and doing some things that we do throughout the season, but primarily in the playoffs. Them moving to 4A is a little bit disappointing, like you mentioned, especially if this bracket and the way that things are set up through the LHSAA do not change. But, you can't talk about Louisiana football without talking John Curtis and Evangel number 1 and 2. So, it really doesn't get any better than that. So, another thing is, please, 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 if you have the opportunity to show up tomorrow night, I know that, of course, it's going to be rainy. It might be drizzly, but bring your rain gear. Don't be silly. Bring your rain gear, show up. But just like I mentioned, Louisiana football doesn't get any better. And if you want to watch good football, show up tomorrow night and watch it. And, of course, if you can't, watch it, listen to us online. We're going to have it live and bring it to you on JohnCurtisPatriots.com. But it is, like I said, and I'll keep on saying it, even tomorrow too, it doesn't get any better.
No. You talk about how dominant the 2 programs are. The Patriots have 26 state championships. 1 national championship. Jason Cortez, hey, buddy.
brother? Good
Happy
to see
Thanksgiving to you. Jason sneaking up in on us. So the Patriots had 26 state championships, 1 national championship. The Eagles, 14 state championships, 1 national championship. So like you said, both schools have hardware, and the skin's on the wall to prove it.
No doubt about it. And you know, it's one of those things where, like I said, if you're a coach, let's say you're a Division I coach, let's say you are just somebody that loves football, you don't have to be a Patriots fan or an Eagles fan. If you're just a guy that loves high school football and you want to see good football, you're going to show up tomorrow night, or you're going to be listening to us, because it doesn't get any better than that.
Yep.
2 storied programs,
Hey, we got a picture with Cortez?
2 storied teams that,
Get over there.
like I said, it really doesn't get any better.
We're going to pause 1 second. We're going to take a picture with a fellow Patriot, Jason Cortez here. It's always good to see Jason for Thanksgiving. Attaboy. Great.
Thank you, buddy. Love you, man.
Love you, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man. Go Patriots, right? All right. It's always good to see my buddy. Good guy there. Real quick, so look, the all 11 times will be played in New Orleans, which is crazy. Superdome is the majority of the times, right? The season opener, the 4 state championships. Joe Yenny comes in next, and then we played him at Hoss Memphis a couple times, and then, of course, Zephyr Stadium. So I'd love to go to Shreveport to play him, to be honest with you.
Well, no doubt about it. Well, we're going to Shreveport anyway right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the last 4 years, I think we
5,
played.
yeah.
5 years we played in the Battle on the Border, so we're going there anyway. So why not be able to play a team like that?
Sure.
What a great rivalry it's been. I'd say continue to keep it going. But let's go back into them traveling. You know, I think their kids and their program and their coaches understand about the discipline and the maturity that it takes to be able to travel. You know, we like playing at home, of course. That we want it no other way, especially in the playoffs. But I think their kids understand what's at stake. They've done it before, been there all the time. And even if they're not playing us, they want to come to New Orleans to be able to play in a state championship anyway. So I think it's going to be business as usual for them tomorrow.
No, absolutely.
And for us too.
And it's a very mutual respect between the two programs. Of all the teams, since we've introduced texting us in the broadcast, the Evangel fans, we get a lot of support from them. A lot of Evangel fans will text us and interact because they can't make the trip down for whatever reason in the holiday season.
No doubt about it.
We appreciate their support.
Well, it's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
So, I don't blame them. A lot of people, with work and, of course, especially
holidays,
this weekend with the holiday and people coming in town, they really can't make the drive, can't make the trip. So, if you're listening, or if you have the opportunity, check in with us tomorrow, JohnCurtisPatriots.com. Going to bring you the live action. It's going to be a heck of a ball game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. All right, let's go down memory lane a little bit. Thanksgiving practice, your 4 years. As many memories as you have about Thanksgiving, the week of, the games, the practice, what do you remember?
Well, I think first thing is it's a sense of pride, to be able to know that you're here again, because you're obviously playing. I think for us it was in the semifinals or maybe the quarters.
Quarters back then.
Yeah, the quarters, but a sense of pride of, you're here again. You gave the alumni another opportunity to get here, and of course be able to see some of the guys, because back then I didn't know. I maybe heard some of the names, but I didn't know some of the faces.
Right.
And then all of a sudden some of these older guys come and they're able to kind of fellowship with you and at least shake your hand and tell you how much they appreciate watching you and things like that. And for a 15 to 18-year-old kid, that's a big deal.
Right.
For some of these guys that were all-state players and they won state championships before you. And I think it's gives you a little bit more sense of purpose on why you're here and why you want to do it as well, because you're not just playing for yourself. And I hope these kids understand that.
Right.
Is we always talk about that banner hanging on the wall over there,
right,
from 75 team, the guys that started it. And without them and some of the guys beforehand and even after, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
There wouldn't be any Thanksgiving practice. So for me, it was always, a great memory just to say, hey, I got to see some of these guys. I got to meet them. And guess what? They still care enough to show up and see us.
Right.
But I think more importantly, it was an opportunity to kind of sit back, be able to hear Coach JT's word again, because anytime you have an opportunity to do that, he's just such a great speaker, and I think God speaks right through him.
Sure.
And so anytime you could hear the devotional one more time, like I said, it kind of just starts your day off right.
Right.
And then on a day like this, where you talk about the things that you're thankful for, it really couldn't start out any better.
Sure.
So it's just a great opportunity to be here when we were young and see some of those older guys. And I love the memories, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell who we played. All I could tell you is we beat them all.
Which is good news. That's good news. And Yeah, for me, I started in '85 as a freshman. Had no clue what I was getting into. Thanksgiving practice, really?
Mm-hmm.
Just ready to get home, get it over with, and go home and eat some turkey and what have you. And we met in the library, and Coach Gatch actually did the devotional then, and it was just kind of long. I'm like, oh my goodness, let's get out of here. And I saw there was a couple guys from the '75 team, Glenn Tabbins, Gary Greaves was in town, I think Mark Toper and Gilmore, who have become good friends with all those guys since, and mainly through this. We actually started off with as I got through the years with Thanksgiving practice, get to know those guys and talking to them, and then the broadcast has really kind of bonded our friendship. Then in the sophomore year, I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty good. When I got home my freshman year, I was like, you know what, that wasn't too bad. That's pretty cool. When alums got to say who they were from, and I realized I get it now. And in my sophomore year, it was cold and rainy. And I went to the locker room again, but we played E.D. White, probably one of the coldest, most miserable weather condition games ever.
Right.
Cold and rainy. We win 16-7. Junior year was, nasty weather as far as like hot and whatever. But senior year, 30 years ago, I'm celebrating my 30th anniversary of my senior year in '88, and got to be a captain for that game. We played E-Meat on the road. Yeah, and won that. And unfortunately, like you, we won all the way through. As I was able to say, I played in 4 state championship games, so obviously we won those games. But the memories, and then I couldn't wait to come back the next year in '89.
Right.
And I just haven't missed. Like I said, the only time I haven't been here on Thanksgiving practice has been '92, and I was lost. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
Because of the previous 7 years, I was coming here, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So for the last 26 years, so this is my 34th, right? 33,
Right,
37, and then 26, 33. So yeah, it's fun. It's old. If I were to move away, I think I'd have to find a way to fly back in for this practice.
That's right.
So.
I think I remember my 8th grade year, the guys messing with me. We were going up in the library, and I think I remember somebody telling me that everybody had to stand up and say something or something like that. So I remember walking up the steps saying, like, oh, gosh, what am I going to have to say? I'm nervous. I got to speak in front of these people or say something or say what you're thankful for. But they were full of bull. You didn't have to do that. But some of the alumni did. And like I said, as the years go on, it makes those things more special that those guys actually care enough. You and I care enough. Robbie cares enough to show up. And I think that's really what we're doing. Yeah. We're showing the kids that we care. We're showing the kids that on Thanksgiving Day, we're thankful for them.
Right.
We're thankful for these coaches. We're thankful for the legacy that's here. So it's a great opportunity to be here again.
So, when I was the senior, it was the school's 26th year of existence. So, it was all new. Because my freshman year was the 10th anniversary of the first state championship. So, really was year 13 or 14 after the first time we ever had one. And it was just those old guys that came back. And that's like, I want to be part of that. But to show you, this has grown as a school has grown.
Right.
Because not only are there a lot of alumni football, but a lot of our Lady Patriots are showing up.
That's right.
And it's welcome. Not that it was a closed practice before. It was just football practice. Nobody would show up. But as the time, I guess, as some of the former players got married and they married their high school sweethearts, and they showed up, and the girls were like, hey, I want to be part of that. And, of course, Coach JT was like, we never thought about it. You know what? Well, come on.
Yeah, this isn't just for football alumni.
But that's how it started.
Exactly. Because it was kind of an in-house tradition. Like you said, it started in the locker room.
Yeah.
So you didn't really go anywhere. And then finally it kind of moved and it got bigger and you moved to the library and a lot of people started to show up. So, yeah, I can totally understand that. But, if you're listening now, come next year.
Yeah.
Because we want you here. We want to be able to fill up these stands here in the gym, fill that side up too. We want to be able to do that because I can tell you it's important, and it's important for me. It's important for Kevin. And, of course, it's important to hear this devotional. Anytime you can hear the Word of God through somebody who speaks it very, very well, and you open up your heart and you listen to it, it's a great opportunity. It's like going to Mass. It's like going to church on Sunday here. It's any time that you could take an hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and be able to fellowship and understand and open up your heart. There's nothing better than that. And like I said, Thanksgiving morning, this is how we started off. I know you probably drank a cup of coffee, but I just started off right here.
I've told Coach JT and Johnny and Jeff through the years, and I hope this never happens, that if there were ever a situation where we would lose the week before and not have a game because we're so
bring it back anyway.
Hey, let's just meet anyway.
Right.
We'll just have a fellowship. We'll just won't have pride. We'll just have a fellowship, and maybe just have the coffee and donuts and just hang out and just to do.
Well, to that point, we have had that when we've had the church service the day after a state championship,
right?
When you lose,
right?
So you keep traditions alive, and really, and like I said, this is an important part of our life. It always has been.
Sure.
Being a Patriot, is an important part when you're a high school kid and you're playing football, but there are more important things in life.
Right.
And that's what we're going to get here into in about 10 minutes.
Exactly.
So it kind of puts things into perspective. And, of course, these kids, like I said, we didn't understand.
No.
They don't understand.
But they will.
But exactly. But as you get older, you start to put things more into focus and understand the fine details of life and really what's important.
Yeah.
So, it's just a great opportunity. But like you said, even if something were to happen, we need to keep this tradition alive because it's really what's important.
It's my favorite practice of the year, to be honest with you. For twofold, I'll start just to hang out with the guys, the stories.
All right.
We ran faster, we jumped higher, we were stronger.
Of course we did.
They stretched over time, but they're
fishermen.
funny.
Yep.
It's crazy. Some of the stories you get, but it's the devotional, and like I said, I like to just hear Coach talk and stuff. And what's going to happen? Is Coach going to come in here? We're going to mic them up. The team they're doing their ice pools and rehab or whatever right now. They're going to come in. Right now, you see a lot of alums and the families are here. They're just kind of sitting in, but the players are going to sit up in the stands as well.
Right.
And somebody overflow to the other side here. And then when Robbie gives us the cue and Coach is all mic'd up, ready to go, we're going to keep you on the air. We're going to slide out the way so you guys can hear. And it probably it's maybe a 20, 30-minute deal, but it's always a good message.
Right.
And I double up. I go to St. Matthew across the street every Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, and then I walk across and come to the church service here. So I get it more often than alums. But for a while, I was only really hearing Coach talk once a year. And for me, because I enjoyed it as a player, I soaked everything up. I wanted to get everything I had in my 4 years. And there's a lot of people talking about, man, I would do anything to play one more game. I don't say that. And I don't mean that disrespectful. I gave 100% to where when I walked out the field as a senior, I was done.
Right.
I don't had no regrets. I don't have any. I practiced hard. I played hard. I did everything I could. I enjoyed my time. Now, it would be fun to play a game? Sure, but I don't have that like some guys do.
Yeah.
But that's on them. But I would come back and just to hear Coach, and even as a business and professional, just that 20-minute service would get me through the year to like, oh, that's my motivation to what I had in high school.
Right.
Fortunately, I get to hear him every week. And, of course, now with the broadcast for the latest 8 years, we hear him quite regularly, which is great for us. But for those who can't hear him as often, if you're ever in town, come on back and come listen to him. I think you'd be impressed.
Well, even one thing that we introduced a few years ago into the broadcast of the game was the sideline mic. Gordon Abier helps us out with that during the football games. And most of the time, if the connection's good, you can hear Coach JT for about 5 to 10 seconds before the run-through. And it's funny how the juices kind of just get flowing when all of a sudden you start hearing Coach JT's voice. And I think it kind of puts you back into some of those memories, or it just kind of, transcends where you are now. And you could kind of go back in your mind and feel it. And I think even a lot of those guys that are from the 75 team and guys like that, when they hear Coach JT, bring it up, let's go, get in here, let's go. And then all of a sudden, let's play 48 minutes physical football, let's go get him, whatever. But it's exciting to hear Coach JT talk because we have those memories that are matched up with it. And today's no different.
And we did that in 2011, the first year to broadcast. And we didn't introduce the texting until the first game of the 13th season. So then the fans, our alums were texting, oh, my God, it brought me back to 1978, 1975, or whatever year it may be. So the guys are listening or let us know when they hear Coach's voice, it puts them back in the yesteryear.
Right.
The first time, I don't know if you knew this, and I was talking to somebody not too long ago, when did we start doing this on Thanksgiving practice? Yeah. The put it on the stream, and it's like, I know anything about it for a second. All right, 2011 was the first year, championship year, and it dawned on me. It was 2013. Ashley Rickner got sick during the summer, and she, Miss Kathy, Mr. Darrell were staying in Houston at least 8 months straight. And they had been since July, I believe, hadn't been home. And a lot of family, and I went because my wife Lori was sick. We went to Houston once a year, so we saw them in November. But they couldn't be a part of this. Right. And I believe it was somehow the family asked Robbie, hey, can y'all just stream it so they can see it? I'm like, if they're streaming it, let's get it out there. And then really, so really, this is our 6th year. It's
kind of a tradition for us.
Yeah, doing a Thanksgiving. But it was kind of, I never thought about it. I just assumed it was part of the broadcast. But when somebody asked me, like, how many have y'all been doing the Thanksgiving practice? I was like, let me think about it for a second. But I realized, so Ashley kind of brought us to help the Rickners share home, make them feel like they were home, though they were in Houston. And here we are, we're continuing to do it. And what an awesome
Well, that's what's great about it, because we might have 300 people here today. We might have 300 or 500 people on the broadcast that are at home, couldn't quite get out of bed. Maybe some family was in town. They partied a little too much last night. but they can listen to it as well
And
as
it's archived.
I was about to say, as well as it's
Stole your
archived.
thunder.
So some evangel people, they might come to the broadcast tomorrow. They might get there a little early. Well, come listen to Coach JT.
Yeah.
Listen to a little bit of what John Curtis is all about. And it's a great opportunity for us, like we said, to fellowship and understand what's really important in life, and the love of Christ. And JT's going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you're right. Some of the memories passed me by a lot faster than they passed Kevin by. My boy's he's an encyclopedia in that mind. But yeah, you're right. Now that you say it, I totally remember how this all started. But it was and let's go back to 8 years ago.
Okay.
When this first started.
Yeah.
For a lot of you guys that don't know, Kevin and I.
Crazy.
The year before, we had the teacher.
But 2009, 2 years before.
Yeah, 2 years before that. The teacher, what was the teacher's name? Crane.
Gary Crane.
Gary Crane. He was kind of Jeff might call Kevin one week or call me or Kevin, did it a few times and wanted to have a guy that had some previous experience through the Patriots, and Gary Crane was kind of the play-by-play guy, and we'd kind of go in for color, and it was like speaking into a tin can, and you're next to the guy, and you're breathing into the same one, and you're passing it to him, and then he's passing it to you, and then a couple years later, a company came to us, iHigh, and they said, we want to introduce 20 high school programs around the country, 20 of who we feel are the best, or big schools, or have a good legacy at that program, and we want to introduce them and try to get some type of webcast going. So, the school said, well, let's think about it. So they called Robbie, and then they said, who do we want to be, the broadcasters? And you and I have done it in the past. And so they reached out to Kevin and I, and they said, well, let's talk about it. Let's have a meeting. So we went to Mr. Curtis's office. Kevin probably knows the day.
Yep, August 17th.
There you go, August 17th.
9:30 in the morning.
There you go, 9:30 in the morning, August 17th. We met in Mr. Curtis's office, and we said, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And, then the one thing that I appreciated about it is JT said, look, if we're going to do it
right.
Let's try to do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not.
Can we get headsets?
Yeah, exactly. Let's not
get rid of the paint can and
yeah. Let's not do it halfway. Let's do it as best we can. So we want to say thanks to a lot of our sponsors as well that sponsor our broadcast each and every week, because without them we couldn't get updated equipment, we couldn't get the cameras and obviously the equipment that Robbie uses each and every week. So we appreciate that. But 8 years flies by when you're having fun, and it's been a great opportunity to stay involved with the program, stay involved with the coaches, stay involved with the kids. You and I's relationship has blossomed.
Absolutely.
Before this, I knew who Kevin was, but we didn't really talk.
Right.
I didn't, I knew about him, but
knew of each other.
Right. and now, I'd honestly say Kevin's one of my best friends to this day, and going to be my daughter's godfather coming up soon. So it's been a great opportunity. 8 years flies by when you're having fun.
I know.
And it's been a good roller coaster ride for us, but. One good thing is we always get into the games for free.
That's true.
And we always get to see good football.
That's true.
And so, if you're a loyal listener, we want to say we appreciate it. Sometimes, we fly off the handle, off the hook, and we don't know what we're saying sometimes, but it's always been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm thankful for many things, and I don't want to get into all of them because we never get off the program.
Of course.
But in regards to what we're doing here, I'm thankful that I'm a Patriot. I've been associated with the program since August of '81. I'm thankful for being invited and asked to do the broadcast.
Right.
For many things, because I knew of you guys. Robbie was a little infant when his mom brought him on my fifth grade class to substitute one day, and of course everybody knows the quarterbacks, and then you being a very successful quarterback. But they just mentioned this broadcast has allowed us to become great friends. And then some older alums who I knew a little bit or knew of because of the broadcast, now I'm very good friends.
Yeah.
And even, Coach Rob's illness kind of coincided with that when we did fundraisers for him to raise money for his illness in the broadcast. It's just amazing how many doors have been opened to both of us,
right?
Not only between you and I, but among other fellow Patriots that now I consider very good friends.
Right.
Had I not done the broadcast, I probably wouldn't have had that opportunity, and for all that, I'm very thankful for that.
No doubt about it. Besides Curtis, personally for me, this week or last week, it kind of got me a little sentimental because my dad turned 80, and it seems like every month or two he's reading the obituary and he tells me another one in my class is gone. Yeah. And to have the opportunity for my dad to still be around at 80 years old. We had a birthday party for him Saturday. And then, of course, family in town. My sister's in town with her husband Yvonne and their 2 girls are with them, and then one of the girls slept at my house last night. So family, I think, is one of the themes of what I'm very thankful for this year.
All right, let's get to the business at hand. We're going to have the fellowship right here, but don't forget, tomorrow night, Joe Yeni Stadium, 7 p.m., the John Curtis Christian Patriots versus the Evangel Eagles. We'll be on at 6:45 for our pregame broadcast. So on behalf of Robbie, Danny, and myself, go Big Blue. And
let me thank everybody. Let me welcome everybody for coming. It's those guys that have played in the past and the guys that are here, the parents. This is a great time of the year. We always look forward and hopefully have the opportunity to come together at Thanksgiving and to spend a few minutes together. I want to thank the men's club, the Patriot Nation's men's club, for the coffee and for the donuts. I know that some of you all enjoyed those, so we thank you for that. Do have a special guest with us today. I want you to recognize Jason. There's Jason Cortez. Glad to have Jason with us. And Ms. Curtis is with us today. Ms. Curtis, raise your hand. We're glad to have her with us today. And we're glad to have all of you all too, because it is a special time of the year. What I like to do is we're going to have a mic. We're going to start over in this corner, I believe, huh, Robbie? And we're going to ask all the alumni that are here just to kind of tell us your name and just tell us the day that you graduated, the date that you graduated. I told somebody the other day we're missing Coach Rob and his late graduation, or I guess early graduation, but Leon will take his place, so that'll work out. But I do want to recognize those alumni. So if we'll start at this corner, who'd you give the mic to, Rob?
Danny Wimprine, class of 2000.
Kevin Fayard, 89.
Robbie Utzler, 01.
Debbie Utzler, 1971.
19, what was that?
2002.
Alicia, 74.
Kathy Rickner, 1972.
Steve Curtis, 2000.
Rachel Drake, 2018. Sarah Drake, 2016.
Chad Fallbacher, 2002. This is Jason Cortez, 2003.
Donald Fallbacher, 2001.
Jared Fallbacher, 2005.
Ryan Roach, 2002.
Paul Naggery, 2001.
Reagan Fallbacher, 2016.
Joanna Fallbacher, 1987.
Manny Michelle, 1979.
Larry Tapman, 1979.
Tommy Archer, 1976.
Dave Gilmore, 1978.
Walter Bilson, 98.
Glenn Tapman, 76.
Mike Dugas, 75.
Stephen McCready, 87.
Suzanne Blake, 1986. Tracy McCready, 85.
John Bordelon, 86.
Gordon Hebert, 86.
Brock Hebert, 2016.
Dwayne Munch, 2005.
Craig Gardner, the class of 83.
Brandon Godfrey, 2013.
Rodney Guggenheim, 93.
Michael Meyer Jr., 98.
Brandon Porter, 07.
09. Jeff Berger, 2008.
Jason Howard, 1997.
Michael O'Brien, 96.
Norman Drake, 87.
Jeff Osama, 86. Tommy Fabaka, 87.
Johnny Curtis, 91.
Don Curtis, 91.
Jay Curtis, 2018.
Jeff Curtis, 1995.
Tony Curtis, 1995.
Preston Curtis, 1998. Connor Mullins, 2008.
Matt Curtis, 99.
Lance Rickner, 99.
Leon, 68.
You all did hear that, didn't you?
Mama's 62. She was here in 62.
1962, that's right. That's when Mama started. That's right. It is again, a really honor to have you all with us today. This started actually it started in 75. The email said 79, but it actually started in 75. We didn't have any idea what to do in the playoffs, and to get into the semifinal week, we had no idea what to do. And when practice was over that morning, we just felt like we needed to do something. And so we just kind of met together in the locker room, and then from there it's kind of grown into what we do today. So be sure that you take the time to invite another alumnus or a friend to come. We'd love to have you. I think it's important on a day like today to spend a few minutes together and just reflect on friendship, reflect on the past, and to think a little bit about some spiritual things that are for eternity, not just temporal things that last for a relatively short period of time. So I do thank you for coming. Every year David Gilmore gets on me because I forget to say that if you do not have a church home, you're more than welcome to join us here. We meet Sunday mornings here at 10:45. People usually get here at 10:35, 10:30, visit for 10, 15 minutes, and then we start our church service. We're usually done by 11:45, 12 o'clock, we're finished. So if you don't have a church home, we would love to have you come and be with us, or if you just want to come and visit, we'd love to have you come. We are here for you. God put us in this place for a particular purpose and a particular reason. And so we want you to always feel welcome and to know that you can come with us and come share some time with us. As I thought today about what I could say to you in this time, I think in this year's period of time, we've all gone through some difficulty. It was just a year ago that Kevin lost his wife. And it was a difficult time, not only for Kevin, but for many of you all who have loved ones or have family that go through difficulty. But difficulty is nothing new in life. And it certainly wasn't anything that was new in the Bible. One of the things that I wanted to share with you before we go, and we're not going to be real long, but one of the things I did want to share with you is that oftentimes we think this book was written, just written. But this is God's information. This is God's letters to his people and to his church. And so I just think it's really important that you recognize and understand that when we read out of this book,
God has provided us with. And even in our own family sometimes, we have a tendency to look at the faults or the difficulties of others rather than examining ourselves, or us to be the peacemaker, us to be the one that goes and tries to say, let's concentrate on the things that are positive, that are good. We're going to have some differences, but let's kind of work ourselves together so that we can accomplish the things that God wants for us in our life. God is never the author of confusion. Confusion is the author of Satan. He wants to create confusion and difficulty in your life so that you'll get sidetracked, so that you won't be able to accomplish the things that God wants for you. So if you hear that confusion or that difficulty, let's think about what Paul writes to these people in Corinth. To God's church at Corinth, Paul writes, to those who are sanctified in Christ Jesus and called as saints, with all those in every place who call on the name of Jesus Christ as their Lord. Grace to you and the peace of God, our Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. I always thank God for you because of God's grace given to you through Christ. Paul reminds us the importance of saying thank you. Thanksgiving. Thank you for the blessings that we have. Thank you for the relationships that we have. Thank you for the mother and father that we have. Thank you for the country we live in. Thank you for the friendships that we have. Thank you for the job that I have. Thank you for the school that I go to. Thank you. Paul says you need to be thankful to God. And you need to understand that it's been God's grace given to you that you have these things. Sure, it would be easy to sit here today and to criticize our country that we live in. It's easy to criticize people and to be negative to them. But Paul says because of God's grace to you, you have a relationship with him that you can call him your Father. I always thank God for you, Paul says. I don't dwell on the negative that's going on in the church. We're going to solve those issues. We're going to get back to the real issues that what this church is founded for. You have to realize that this new way of worshiping, this new religion, if you would, was going through growing pains. It was difficult. It was hard. And these people needed some direction. They needed some encouragement. They needed some thank you. That by him you were made rich in everything. And if there's one thing that I wanted to emphasize to you today, it's that verse. That because of God's grace to us, we have been made rich in everything. Just begin to think about the blessings that you have, not what you don't have. See, that's the Satan part of it, on what we don't have. Let's think about the wonderful blessings that we do have. Let's think just about the joys in our life that we do have. And let's begin to emphasize and grow from those things. That by him, you were made rich in everything, in all speaking, in all knowledge. And as the testimony about Christ was confirmed among you, so that you do not lack any spiritual gift as you eagerly await God's revelation through Christ to you. When you put yourself in that position, you begin to open up yourself so that God can minister to you. If you don't feel like that you have a relationship with the Lord that you should have, then what you need to do is examine yourself. And you need to begin to confess, and you need to begin to be thankful for that relationship, because God eagerly awaits to open up his spiritual relationship that he wants with you, in whatever that might be. It's all going to be a little different. Whatever environment, whatever job, whatever situation you find yourself in, be thankful for it. God's going to use you in a very special way. He will also confirm to you to the very end of the day.
that you will not be held accountable. You will not be blameless. You will be blameless because of what Christ did for you on the cross. He will always be there for you, for God is faithful, and by him you were called to his fellowship with his Son, Christ Jesus. That's what I would like us to think about and dwell on today. That relationship that we have with Christ. And to be thankful for the blessings that we have. To be thankful for the families that we have. To be thankful for the gifts that we've been given. I mean, none of us today are sitting here in poverty, or sitting here in disease, or sitting here in degradation. How many people woke up today feeling terrible? How many people drugged themselves out of a bar room, or drugged themselves from some situation where they woke up this morning and the depression of the world was falling all around them? We woke up this morning anxious to come to practice, anxious to watch our children, anxious to renew our friendships, anxious to be apart with each other. What a blessing. Be thankful for all the gifts that God has given you. When the verse of Scripture says that you can do all things through Christ who gives you the strength every day, that's exactly what it means. Let's call on that relationship. Let's let that speak to us. And let's be thankful today as we go home and we make our way. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your word. We thank you for your scripture. We thank you that Paul said to us, be thankful. I thank God every day for you. Help us to be thankful to God for all he's done for us, for the homes that we live in, for the freedoms we enjoy, for the country that we live in, for the relationships that we have, for our family, for our health. We just say thank you. Help us as we go through this day to be joyful and to give you the praise. We ask you especially now to be with any that are here that are in time of need, whether it be physical or whether it be emotional. We ask that you would send your spirit to minister to them. Have them to open themselves up. Be faithful to you so that you can reveal to them in their life what you have for them to do. Minister to the needs of us today as we go about this Thanksgiving season. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Again, I thank you for being here. I just want to remind the parents of the players, and I told them specifically to eat well, but don't eat too much. Eat enough, and they should get out and be active this afternoon and get a good walk in after they eat their Thanksgiving meal. Sit down to get up tomorrow. Make sure that they're staying active tomorrow through the day. They'll be here for practice, to begin the preparation for the game at about 3:30, 3:45, and then we'll be at Joe Yeti tomorrow night for 7 o'clock. God bless each of you. Thank you very much.